Agency Intelligence and the Most Valuable Producer podcast. What is going on? It's your host, Mitch Gibson, joined by a new face to myself. I got to meet Luis Leal down in San Antonio in his own hood in the San Antonio area about a month ago for the AI Brainshow. Might have been longer than that. Luis is doing amazing things. Leal Insurance Services is off and running, and they're knocking doors down and doing great things. I see him all over social media and he's killing it. Had to get him on the show. And since Sean Kirby and I talked about him last episode, what better way than to get him on this next episode for episode 5. Luis, how are you doing, man? Thanks for your time today.
Dude, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Absolutely. Is this number 1?
No, James Jenkins beat you out. Yeah, James invited me on the podcast. I was episode number 17 of Agency Freedom Podcast.
Okay, 17. I don't have as deep as voice as James. His voice is unbelievable. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. I'm like, that dude could have a career just in reading voiceovers. I mean, absolutely. Like, screw the insurance thing. Sit me in a room with a microphone all day. Let's make some money.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, as we kind of discussed before the show, our main audience here is young agents, and what we're trying to do is inspire, give them tips, tricks, different types of things that will help them go out and kill the production world in the insurance industry. And that's something that, like I've told many people, I wish I would have had an avenue or knew people like yourself, or Casses of the world, the Hanleys, the Carruthers, the Sean Kirby, those people right there. I wish I knew day one of walking into the insurance industry. I really wish I did. And I'm sure as you started to evolve and see the changes in the industry, you probably wish the same thing. Could be true or untrue. I might be putting words in your mouth. But did you realize that? When did you realize there's more out there?
Yeah. So check this out. Back in 2019, I accidentally completely stumbled on Jason Cass' podcast, Agency Intelligence. And he kept saying IAOA. I had no idea what that is. And finally, one day I just Googled it, right? What is IAOA? And I found the Facebook group of independent insurance, or what is it? Let's see.
Independent agents. Is it Independent
Agents Owners Alliance? There you go.
There you go. You weren't going to get me to say it.
Okay. Independent Agent Owner Alliance. And dude, before that, it was like, I felt like I was on an island all by myself, like, just completely solo out there. Yeah, sure. Of course, I network with other business owners and stuff like that. But not knowing a business owner in your industry can be tough, right? Because everyone has unique challenges. And so I started my business in 2010. And so for 9 years, I felt like I was on an island all by myself. When I discovered IAOA, it was like, if I had just walked in 30 minutes in one direction, I would have run into this huge party that was going on of successful, innovative, like-minded, I could go on, individuals who were excited about the industry. And so I jumped in head first. Started listening to more podcasts and networking with other agents, and just really wanted to soak up as much as I could. And I took to this day, I still am learning from people. Innovation was just a few weeks ago in Tampa, which was awesome. Brainshare, that was my first Brainshare this year in September.
That was my first ever,
anything insurance?
Anything really? Go out and like Brainshare type stuff. I've been to the Big I stuff and the Elevate things, but nothing like hey, where there's going to be mastermind of just literally masterminds. They don't call them masterminds for nothing. So being able to be around and meeting you and James Jenkins and seeing people for the first time that I've literally been learning from. Yeah. It's like, dude, why is this not done so more often? And
I was talking to Chris Green, the flood guru, and he had come to San Antonio a while back, and I showed him around town a little bit. We had breakfast and stuff, and we were talking, and so I got to know him, pretty well. And he was the first to tell me that Brainshow was going to be in San Antonio, and he was like, "Dude, are you going to go?" I was like, "I don't know, man." I said, I don't have anything to offer these guys. Like, I don't have anything to share." And he goes, "Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. What you need to do is get into the room and just be a fly on the wall
Yep.
and take as much information in as you possibly can. And you're going to be able to share something. And apparently I was able to do that for Sean. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that I was able to do that.
And that's funny you brought that part of it, because Sean and I had the discussion about your Facebook group that you've started. And I think that is very, 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 very cool. And I want to get into that, because Sean's kind of doing the same thing. He's kind of started that same thing in his Marion County. He added me in, and I'm like, dude, what is this?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know anything about what you had done already. And I'm like, what is he doing this for? And he's been avidly like posting in it and commenting in it and all of this and all that. And I'm like, and he's really about this. And it clicked. It all clicked last episode when we were talking that he got that idea from you. So I guess to dive into that, where did you come up with that? Where did you hear that from? Was that one of those things you said, oh, there's a lot of moms groups out there, I'm going to start a dad's group?
That's exactly what it is.
Listeners, what you are doing on Facebook in your community that has resulted in, one, your people are knowing who you are. You're being authentic and you're making friends. So tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So what happened was I was talking to one of my mortgage broker referral partners, and I was asking her, hey, how are you getting business? How is business coming in the door for you? And she was like, well, you know what? I partnered with a realtor, and we have this moms group. It's called the Working Moms of San Antonio. And, we get a ton of referrals from there. People ask questions about, mortgages and buying houses and things like that. And, we get a ton of business from that. And I was like, really, that's awesome. I said, surely there's got to be a Dads of San Antonio group, right? And so I went to Facebook and looked for a dad's group, and sure, there's a bunch of like big, like national sort of level dad's group, but I didn't find anyone group that was local to San Antonio. And so I told her that, and she was like, well, why don't you start one? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know that I have time for that. That just seems like too much work. And the more I thought about it, I was a first-time dad. I've got a 4-year-old little boy who I adore. I grew up without a father, and I have friends who are dads and who I can lean on and get advice from and things like that. But I wanted to kind of create a safe space, if you will, online, where we could network with other dads and kind of, be vulnerable with each other in a private space. Because I think social media affords you that, right? There's a little bit of a buffer there. So I thought enough about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I created a group, and at first it was just me and a few friends of mine. And now here we are about a year and a half later. We hit 1,500 members in the group the day before yesterday.
Wow. If I had a cool soundboard like James Jenkins does, I would have hit the applauding button.
The applause. Yeah. So we hit 1,500 members a couple of days ago. In the last 30 days, just to kind of give you, I mean, we're serious about this, right? So we try to be active and engage the group on a regular basis. So in the last 30 days, there have been 101 posts in the group. I'm looking at my stats from Facebook right now. So there have been 101 posts in the group. There have been 717 comments, 1,029 reactions, and over 1,300 members that are active in the last 30 days in our group.
Within the last 30 days, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. And this is more, I guess, maybe a, in one ear, out the other type of deal for many people. That group's doing probably way more traction than your Leal Insurance Services Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Barring none, right?
Yeah, for sure. I have in my Leal Insurance Services group, I probably have like 150 people, and they're all clients. They're all current clients. So it's not like I'm getting any new business from that. It's great to be able to share that information and invite people to be a part of your exclusive, online group, your private club. But they're people who are already doing business with me. So
And what I love too is what you said, that the Facebook group, you said, yeah, they're our clients, so we're not getting a ton of new business out of it. But what you've done there, and young agents and producers out there, listen, because what he is doing and what you should be doing is after the sale, you've got to engage and you've got to,
Absolutely.
you've got to keep that business. So
yes,
what ways can you be creative, to keep your customers engaged? Yeah, whether or not, well, when you write a home and auto insurance policy, whether or not that insured has kids, obviously, if they're driving,
Yep.
but you should be having that conversation as a producer, as an agent,
Yep.
while you're on the phone with them. So then if they're a parent, he's a dad, guess what? He can go and, hey, invite him to that dad's group. Yeah, he's going to be able to be more engaged too. He's going to see what everybody else is posting. But at the end of the day, he is adding value back to his customers and consumers and even prospective clients, because he understands the value proposition of the customer service and then the customer experience.
Yeah.
Two separate things.
Yep.
I love the customer experience thing. So what kind of things are you posting on the dad's group? I mean, obviously the engagement is where you're going to probably get the most out of that, but what types of things do you post personally in that group?
Yeah. So here's the thing. We've got a mixture of engagement opportunities, right? So, and we do this somewhat on a regular basis. We have sort of a schedule built out. So we've got on Wednesdays, we do what's called Hump Day Hustle, right? And that's our hashtag, Hump Day Hustle. And so we don't allow for anyone to just randomly post stuff about, what they're doing. We got a ton of realtors in the group. So we don't want realtors, hey, if you're buying a house, contact me for whatever. So, and then of course, there's other business owners in the group as well. We don't want it to be a place where people are just posting their specials and all that kind of stuff. So on Hump Day Hustle, we allow people to post, what they're doing, what their hustle is, if they have any specials, if they have, products that they're really proud of, or whatever it is. And so on Wednesdays we do that. And then we have Motivational Monday, of course, right? So we'll post a motivation thing. It's a meme or something like that. Obviously throughout the entire week, people are posting, asking for recommendations for stuff that they're looking for, services that they need, whatever it is. So I try not to post a bunch of stuff about insurance, right? Because I don't want to be that guy either. But the really cool thing is that I don't have to do that, because other people are doing that for me. So when there was a dad in the group last week that said, hey, my auto insurance went up. Does anybody know, anybody that can help me out with my insurance?
Not even knowing the person who started this page owns an insurance agency.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And cool. my profile picture has my logo on it. It's got my, my tagline is big city insurance, small town service. So it has that. Has the auto, home, and business icons on there. So it has all the information, but of course, there's 1,500 of us, right? So he's not going to go through every.
If he does, he probably is not going to be the best client, because he's going to be shopping his insurance every year because he's got that much time.
Well, so don't discount that, because this guy's a business owner, right? So, yeah. So all I commented on the post was, I might know a guy. And then that's it. That's all I said. Right. And then at least 5 other dads in the group said, hey, you should reach out to Luis. Hey, you should reach out to Luis. Hey, you should reach out to Luis. And so from that, the guy finally reached out to me, sent me a private message, was like, hey, apparently I need to reach out to you for insurance. How can you help me? And so then I told him, I'm an independent insurance agent. Here's our value proposition. Here's how we can help. And he was like, so you do business insurance as well? And I was like, yeah. He's like, great. I have a business. Why don't you just quote it all for me?
Hey, don't tug on my arm, sir. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. All from starting a Facebook page.
Yep.
Now let me ask you this too. How many agents do you have?
So I've got two producers, two other producers. Yeah.
What's your marketing or media strategy with those guys, content strategy with those guys? Are you allowing them to kind of brand themselves a little bit, but still brand back the agency? What does that look like? Because like I said, by myself, it took me having some conversations to get on board with the 2 principal owners of the agency I'm at now. just so they could understand, you know, hey, I'm going to be adding value back to HRM based off of my post and stuff, but understand it's got one value, and it's for someone to understand, one, who they're buying insurance from,
Right.
as a person, as a, you know, business professional, and then two, knowing that who they're going to be, you know, the servicing aspect of why HRM is why HRM, you know, is established, because we're so daggone good at our service.
Right.
So those two things going hand in hand. What kind of things are you guys doing? Or are you having producers kind of lay low on the whole content thing?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. So,
like?
one of the producers I have, he's an older guy. He's in his second career. I brought him on because he has a ton of B2B experience.
Sure.
And so he's not a big social media guy. So he's not, you know, he didn't ever ask about, you know, how can I brand the agency, or can I brand the agency under, you know, my profile or whatever it was. And then the other producer that we have, she doesn't have a huge social media presence.
Okay.
So really, I'm the only one in the office doing the social media stuff.
Which is not a bad thing. I just was,
I
didn't know what that age group was. Age group, you know, ran. I just didn't know what that looked like.
Yeah, no, she's not huge on, before she came on board. I mean, you know, when I brought her on, it was like one of my sort of, you know, things that I wanted to look for was what did her social media look like? And it was pretty bland. There's really not a whole lot there. But you know, I'm the one in the office that's super active on social media. I'm the one that's, engaging with our customers and doing all that kind of thing. So it's good now that I have those two producers, because I can push more of the production stuff down to them, and I can focus more on the content media, or the content creation and the social media engagement and all that kind of stuff with our customers. So
what kind of goals you have? What do you got in mind? I love how you're very authentic with your postings. Heck, I saw one the other day. I'm sitting here talking like I'm some hillbilly down south. I saw one the other day where you were, it was just some standard GIF, and it was like your insurance agent or your insurance agency. It says Leal Insurance Services, and it was like some sprinter. What was that? Or what was that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So it's a meme of Usain Bolt. So there was someone that was there was a photographer that was taking a picture, and he just happened to turn while he was running straight, and the camera caught him smiling,
looking back.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And so I took that. So my agency just released Glovebox. You're familiar with Glovebox?
If you're not familiar, you just beat me to my next segment.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We'll get there.
I love it.
But yeah, so we just released Glovebox to our customers on November 1st, and before that we had been doing this 2-week social media campaign about a big announcement that we were making on November 1st. And as soon as we released it, I did another 2-week campaign of like, hey, this is how we're different, and this is what Glovebox brings, and all that kind of stuff. And one of those things was I took that picture and I made it into a meme, and it was Usain Bolt, and I put my logo right underneath him, and then the pack of runners that was just a little bit further behind him, and I put your agency.
Genius.
Your insurance agent. Yeah.
I loved it. But that's just you being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Having fun with it.
Yeah.
You probably had a lot of people get a kick out of it. And the biggest thing is people remembered it.
Yeah.
That's what people forget, is they don't understand. Like I got to make a post that people who remember, not,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were going to say
I had one that I did. So we're coming into the holiday season here in San Antonio. Tamales are big for the holiday season. And you know, Mexicans down here love tamales. And so what I did was I was Googling pictures of tamales. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It's just don't ask me. I was Googling pictures of tamales, and I found 2 pictures, and one was this like really beautiful display of tamales, and it had, you know, like the cilantro kind of dressed on the tamales, and it looked gorgeous. And then I kept scrolling, and I found this picture that was like a lime green tamale that just looked absolutely terrible.
Dog water.
I was like, what? And so I put those two pictures side by side, and I said what you expect when you buy an insurance policy online, which was the beautiful, looking tamale, and then what you actually got when you bought your insurance online, and it was the picture of the green tamale.
Ones. That's awesome.
And so, I try to be fun with it. I try to have fun with it. I try to think outside the box. How can I really get across the point that we're different than everybody else, and I want people to get curious about that and reach out to us and say, okay, what can you do for me? That's the whole idea behind those engagements.
How has the feedback been from current customers? I know it's only been 18 days, but how's the feedback on the Glovebox app? Are you having a lot of people, depending on age range, obviously, based off the book of business, but how's the stickiness of it? Are you having people understanding it? What are you seeing from it?
Yeah, so we know we're not going to get 100% adoption rate from our customers. We just know that that's not going to happen. Our goal is to get to 35%. We're currently sitting at 7% adoption rate, and the feedback has been phenomenal, to be quite honest with you. So when we got the app live, when we got the link, I sent it out to a few trusted people that I knew, and I wanted a wide spectrum, right? Everybody from like my mother-in-law, for instance, who is not tech savvy at all.
Sure.
I wanted to give her an opportunity to download it and give me feedback on it. And her comment, like right off the bat, she's like, wait, what? Like, I have everything on in my phone right now. And I'm like, yeah, it's right there. I didn't help her with it. I sent her the link and I said, here's what you do. And she did it all on her own. And she was able to connect her policies, super easy to do. And I helped her understand that she wasn't going to have to log in again, that as long as she kept that device, the information was going to be at her fingertips whenever she wanted it. And she really appreciated that. And then of course there's other tech savvy friends, like my brother-in-law, for instance. He works for a company called CloudStrike. So he's super tech forward. I sent it to him, and he was like, man, this is the multi-factor authentication is awesome. This is great. The fact that I have this information in my hands and don't have to log in a whole bunch of times or remember another password or whatever, it's great. So yeah, I mean, the response has been really, really, really great. I think the 35% goal is doable.
I do too.
But we didn't do it. We didn't do it for every single one of our customers that our existing book of customers. We did it for the future customers that we're going to bring on. We want to be a digital agency. Our ideal customer is one who is tech forward, who loves technology. One thing I heard recently was technology when you need it, human when you want it. That's the idea of the agency that we want to build. We want to build an agency that's bridging the gap between the big insurance company and the client. And we'll do that in any way that works for the client, whether that's.
Did you just say that? Is that technology?
Technology when you need it, human when you want it.
Drop the mic. Cass, turn that one. Cass and the team turned that one into a social media post right there. I love that. That was phenomenal.
I stole that from someone. I'm not going to say who.
Don't tell us who. We don't need to know that. It came from Leal.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the agency that we want to build. We want to build a technology facing agency with the small town service feel. That's why we have the tagline: big city insurance, small town service.
Love that. Big city insurance, San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio is beautiful, by the way. You have a phenomenal town. I truly enjoyed myself. Other than feeling like complete crap the last day of the conference, that was my fault. But I had a blast. Your city it's very beautiful. I had a great time. Gonna have to come back down and see again. So when you say, I think everybody understands the whole big city, small insurance field type stuff, what we're talking about. Other than having that, small town feel, what has separated Leal from your competitors?
Man, that's a good question. So, I think we're really focused on the customer experience, right? There's a lot of agencies here in town, even that are transaction based. They just want to sell you a policy. There's a lot of franchise agencies here too, and they don't do any service in house. We don't use any service centers, so all the carriers that we represent offer it.
Sure.
Of course, they're gonna take back some of the commission, but we don't use service centers. We want to be the contact for the customer. We automate a lot of it. Yeah. We automate a lot of it, and customers can't tell the difference. They think it's coming right from us. And so we're able to meet them where they're at, meet the insurance client where they're at, service their needs the way that they want it. And then introducing Glovebox was a big part of that.
So you guys have really taken some big steps within the last 12, 24 months.
Absolutely. Yeah. We brought on Agency Zoom as our CRM.
Before he swiped in yesterday.
That's
nice to have all that money,
conversation for another day. It's a conversation for another day. But yeah, we brought on Agency Zoom a couple years ago, and we've used them as our CRM. We have Now Certs. So what I really like about Now Certs, so we also, here's another thing we do. We are very, very hyper focused on auto, home, and small business insurance. Right. So we're not a generalist agency. You can't come to us for life insurance. Can't come to us for health insurance. We don't do any of that stuff. We don't do trucking insurance. We know what we're good at. We know what our specialty is. We know what our lane is. Anything else, we're going to refer out to somebody else who is an expert in that. And so I lost my train of thought, but what we know what we're good at. And so we're going to stick to our lane. And I think that's another reason that separates us from other agencies is we're not trying to be good at everything.
Yeah.
We're trying to be great at the things that we know best. Of course, we're going to help with the RVs, the boats, the motorcycles, things like that. But I mean, even on the commercial space, there are things that we know that we're not good at. So we'll refer to somebody else. So if we've got a lender, investor who's got a ton of rehab properties, that's not our specialty. We don't, we're not gonna do that. I'll refer that out to someone. So yeah, we know what we're good at, or we know what we're great at, and we're gonna stick to that. I think that's what separates us from other agents.
Glad you brought that up, because it kind of rewinds us back to a small conversation I had last episode in regards of not getting involved and not doing too much as a young producer. I did. I mean, hell, I was a part of 7 things a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. When am I going to have time to write insurance? You know what I'm saying? Like I was staying up way too late, and just one of those, you're doing 6 things for somebody else, but 1 for yourself.
Yeah.
And that to me didn't click until you kind of just get wore out and tired. So when you say we're going to stick to what we're great at and dish off the stuff that we're, good at, but we're not going to spend as much time on this because we know our value proposition when we spend the time on those things that we're great at. Right. If you had some advice for a young producer, would you say the same thing, or do you have any other advice as far as time management, prospecting, stuff like that? Hey, don't waste your time doing something that's not good for you, let alone if your carriers even write it. Do you even know that information? Do you even know how to write a telecommunications company who climbs 300 feet up in a cell tower? I do, but do you? You know what I'm saying? So like, what's that look like for in your eyes?
Yeah. So something that one of the many things that I've taken away from James Jenkins and others in the group is riches are in the niches, or niches are riches. Find the thing that you are excellent in. Another thing that I heard recently at Innovation is, if you're in the commercial space, especially, when your marketing reps are coming to you or your underwriters are coming to you and they're giving you a hot list, I mean, kind of ignore that. And ask them, what are you good at? What are you really good at, but you're not seeing enough of? Because everyone's going after the hot list. That's why they're promoting it, because they want you to know that they're especially good at it, and they're writing a ton of it. Okay, but don't forget about all the other stuff out there that they are good at, but they're not writing.
Yep.
So ask them that question. What are you really good at, but you're not seeing enough of? So find a niche, and then, have those conversations with your partners, figure out what they're good at and how you can write more of that business.
Do you have any captive referral partners?
Yeah, I've got a ton. So I started in the captive world before.
That's why you and James are, but that's why you love James so much. I'm kidding. He's a good dude.
Yeah, no, I was at State Farm for 2.5 years. That's how I got into the business. And then I left there May 31st, 2010, and started my shop July 31st, 2010. So it took me 60 days to get off the ground. Yeah. I had no choice, man.
Oh, you did. It's you either survive or die. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sink or swim.
I agree. Wow. What was the biggest transition, or part of going from the captives to the independent?
Oh man, the opportunity. I mean, so when I started the agency, I was doing everything, literally everything. I mean, I was doing life insurance, health insurance. We were doing the ancillary stuff, the Aflac stuff and all that. All kinds of PNC. I was writing stuff I had no idea. I had no business writing the kind of stuff I was writing. But you see all these new toys and you're just like, I want them all. I want everything. And so, it was really great to see the opportunity. But one thing that captives are really good at, I think, is the fact that they've got one product and they can sell the hell out of it.
Yeah, they can.
I took some of that knowledge that I learned there and used that to, over the years, kind of refine what we wanted to do, and that's how we ended up where we are now. I mean, there was, through the lifespan of the agency, there have been many times where I've had to sit down and say, what are we doing here, and where are we really going? And so it's been a fun ride. Especially over the last couple of years, since being introduced to IOA, and I am super excited about our future and where we're going.
I agree, and the foundation was laid many years ago for all of us young punks out there. So it's kind of just left in the hands of, hey, what's here is what you make of it, and
yep.
That's what I love about this industry and about what I do. Now, real quick, just because I think I know the answer to this, but I don't. What types of things are those captives sending over? What types of things are you getting from some of those captive companies that can't write a vacant dwelling sitting on a PC9? Things like that. What do you guys getting?
No, we get a lot of contractors. I mean, so there, some of the captive carriers here in Texas will do commercial auto for the plumbers, the electricians. But when it comes to the general liability, the problem that they run into is a lot of those guys are doing, there's a ton of new construction here. And so the home builders require certain endorsements that the captives can't include in their policies. So they'll send the general liability over to us, and we'll stay with that for a while. We have a gentleman's agreement with a lot of the captives that we write with, that we won't cross sell to them. So if they've got, if they tell us, hey, listen, I'm sending you the general liability, but we carry the commercial auto, we do the workers' comp, we do the owner's home and auto. All right, fine. We won't cross sell any of that. Now, if they tell us we do all of their commercial stuff, well, guess what? My phone call is going to be to that customer about, hey, where do you have your home and auto insurance at? Yeah, the captive carriers will send us a lot of general liability stuff.
Same.
On occasion, we'll get some personal line stuff that they can't do. Say a mom and dad has a son who had a DUI or something like that, and they can't write it. We'll do those monoline policies. I mean, we're not a monoline agency. We prefer package business.
Why are there reason? Well, hold on a second. Why is the reason you're doing that?
So it's mainly to keep the relationship with the captive.
Bingo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, they're not gonna send you. I've learned over the years that they're not gonna send you stuff that until they learn to trust you.
Yep.
And so, if we are, taking care of those small menial things for them, eventually they're gonna trust us with the big stuff. So that's it's relationship building, it's rapport building.
I think so. If you're young producer just now getting going or whatever, think it's a very, very good idea for you to go try to knock on every captive door in your town, because I think I have every State Farm agent in the Hancock County area that's referring me stuff, and they're not referring to anybody else. So that you've taken what you've just did is you've taken 4 people out of the picture, 5 people, 6, whatever, out of the picture of you. Even I wouldn't call it competition, but you've eliminated 4 people that you have competition with. Realistically.
Absolutely. Here was my pitch to them. It was like, look, my commitment to you is we're going to take care of the stuff that you can't handle, and we're not going to cross sell.
Yep.
Just like I mentioned earlier, but how we don't pay referral fees. We don't pay a spiff or a bird dog or whatever it is that you want to call it. We don't pay any of that stuff. Had a conversation with a captive agent just last week about it. And he said, well, can't you just send me, one $20 a month policy, for life insurance? If I'm sending you, all these referrals, can't you send me at least one life insurance policy? And I said, look, man, I'll be honest with you. I can't commit to that, because that's not what we're known for. We're known for staying in our lane, which is, the home auto, small business stuff. Number 2, we bring better value to your agency in that we're going to help you keep your customer happy. So you're going to handle all the other lines of business in your office. We're going to take care of this one customer the way that you would treat them in your office. And that customer is going to stay with you and be appreciative of that referral for however long, whether that's 5, 10, 15 years. And you're asking me to send you one life insurance policy for $20 a month. You're trying to step over hundreds to get to pennies, and that doesn't make any sense. I stole that line from David Carruthers.
Boom.
I don't mind giving him a shout out on that one.
I don't want to know who the other person is. I like the secretiveness of it. Talk about these bops, man. From what I learned from you, in the short couple minutes that we've met and talked. I said hours, couple days, whatever. You're a big artisan contractor, subcontractor guy. Tell us how that started, and kind of what you did on the back end to gain those relationships and how it's helping you out.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of people in our space that hate certificates of insurance. I use that to get in the door with a big home builder. So what I did was I had a customer who was working for a home builder, who's a regional home builder here in the South, and they needed a certificate of insurance for this builder that they were working for. So we immediately got it out, and the builder immediately called me as soon as she got the certificate and said, hey, is this something that you do pretty regularly? And I was like, yeah, this is what we specialize in. And she was like, well, do you mind if I send you a couple referrals? And I was like, yeah, sure. So she sent me a couple referrals, and we did the exact same thing for them that we did for the other customer that we had. And she said, listen, we are having some trouble with our subcontractors. We're going to start requiring them. Why they hadn't done this before is beyond me, but we're going to start requiring that they have their own general liability insurance. Would you be interested in helping our subcontractors obtain insurance? And I was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Absolutely. So what I did was I talked to their insurance agent, this builder's insurance agent, and he said, listen, we're building out a program for these guys. It has to meet these certain requirements. There were some stuff on there, some losses, big losses on the builder side, which is why they were implementing this requirement for subcontractors. And he helped me to understand, what the process was going to look like, what the coverage is needed, where the coverage is needed to be, what endorsements were being required on the policy. And then what I was able to do was take that information to one of my broker partners and say, because I knew none of our admitted carriers were going to take this. So I went to one of my broker partners and I said, hey, look, I have this huge opportunity. There are 400 subcontractors in the entire state of Texas that work for this home builder. We have a great opportunity here. What can we do? And so we approached a E&S carrier. We created a program specific to this home builder for their subcontractors that met every single one of the insurance requirements that the builder was asking for. We worked on the pricing. I mean, we worked on the pricing like you would not believe. I mean, I took these guys to task on pricing. We established a process. I was able to eliminate the accord forms. I was able to eliminate the supplemental application. I was able to essentially quote, bind, and issue a policy while I was in front of a customer, and that's unheard of in the E&S space.
Would you have done that same exact thing if there was 40 of them rather than 400?
That's a good question.
Because the only reason I say that, and I'm not looking at the whole accord, a quick, easy way around the whole accord form, because those can become, pertinent documents. But when you're trying to turn around that many people, how can we minimize this time of, transactional, quick, being quick with what we're doing, but also effective? Would you do the same?
I probably would have approached the carrier about it, but I don't think that they would have been willing to do that at that point. Not for 40 policies.
Touche, that makes sense. That's kind of why I asked, because I just didn't know, as far as I've never I never had that opportunity. I'm going to kind of take some of that idea and run with it a little bit, because I think it's awesome. First off, that home builder is massive.
Yeah, for sure. And so mind you, those are 400 subs here in the state of Texas. This is a regional home builder. So there's other subcontractors outside of my state that, are having the same issue or we're having the same issue.
So if you're to kind of reiterate what Luis said, to make it, I guess, maybe put it down in a smaller version here, he had approached a home builder who uses 400 subcontractors to either build, whatever it might be, anything from building or to digging the foundation, to laying the concrete, to putting drywall up, to painting, etc.
Yep.
400 subcontractors. They were requiring, obviously, every one of those subcontractors, they should. And if you go to a general contractor, you go to a contractor and they say that they use subs and they don't require them to have insurance, you don't walk away winning that account, just quit insurance. That's make sure your contractors hire insured subs. If not, get them insured, because it's massive. I mean, it is a huge, the risk transfer piece is super, super important.
Yeah.
You limited a big risk transfer mess, made it not as big, and you provided the home builder what they needed, and you did not write anything of the home builders at that point in time.
No, I didn't.
You just took care of their subcontractors, which in regards made the home builder's job easier.
Yep. And it saved them money on their insurance, because now there's that risk transfer piece. And so ultimately that's what they were looking for, is they were looking for someone to come in and take care of that risk transfer and make it easier on now. What you have to understand is that the subcontractor market is very unique. A lot of these subcontractors are very, very old school. They still prefer the face-to-face. But some of the value that we brought to them was we partnered with a tax accountant. And so when these guys wanted to come to us to get insurance, and they were coming to us with not even a DBA, they didn't have they were just doing business in their personal name. What we were able to do was refer them to a tax accountant, get them set up with an LLC. We had a banker that we had a relationship with. We were sending them to the banker to get their business accounts set up. And And so we were able to bring better value to these guys than just insurance.
Sure.
And they didn't look at us as insurance salespeople. They looked at us as a true partner in their business. And so it's important that, you know, if you're going to work in that space, understand your client and meet them where they're at, not just assume, you know, that they're going to buy from you because you're bringing them a decent product.
I love that. Luis, you're doing a great job, man. I think that's the first time I just lied because I have heard you say it. But it's the first time I've heard that in depth of the, you know, of what you have done. You turned a opportunity into something that has become a pillar and a core value of what your business is about and what you're trying to do. You know, what I've gained from this and seen from what you're doing is which I talk about all the time, and I'm not the only one. It's just what can I do to add value to this person? What can I do to add value here? What can I do to add value there? Because if you're adding value, not expecting anything in return, good things will come in return. So keep the process of, I need to find a way to add value. How can I add value to this? But you're going to get to the point where, you know, niches are for the riches, you know, whatever it might be. Riches are for where niche, you know, I don't know how he says it, but that is so
niches
true.
are riches. Niches are riches,
or for the riches.
Yeah. There you go.
I like that one. But Luis, if anybody, and the only reason I say anybody, because I feel like you're going to get bombarded with people wanting to reach out and kind of bounce some ideas off of you. Obviously lealinsuranceservices.com, but how can people get in contact with you?
Yeah, I'm all over Facebook. Feel free to find me on Facebook. Luis A. Leal is my name on Facebook. Send me an email, luis@lealinsurance.com. That's LUIS at Leal, LEAL insurance.com is my email address.
Perfecto. I got something before you leave. I got 5 rapid fire questions. You don't know them.
Oh, great.
Got to ask these 5 questions quick. Just give me a quick answer and I'll let you go, and we'll both have a good rest of the Friday here. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite sports team?
Spurs, baby.
We'll let you go like that. Favorite sport to watch?
Baseball. I'm a Red Sox guy.
I can go with that. If you could visit anywhere in the world, spend 24 hours, where would you be?
Rome.
If you could spend 24 hours with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oof, that was tough.
That gets everybody.
Yeah, man. You know, the first person that came to mind as soon as you said it was my grandfather. I'd love to have 24 hours with my grandfather again. He passed away the day after my 10th birthday. And I would do anything to have 24 hours with him again.
Love that. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that as well, but man, that's the first time I've heard someone say that. You know, everybody goes straight to the, you know, famous, smart, really smart, like Albert Einstein-ish people, but that's cool. I appreciate you.
He was the smartest man I knew, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great. Last thing. What is one of your favorite things to do? Inside the office, outside the office, whatever. What brings you fulfillment, enjoyment, and happiness?
Man, I love being with my 4-year-old, man. This year has been so much fun. So he played T-ball in the spring and in the fall. I never imagined that I would want to coach his team. But you know, the head coach was like, "Hey, parents, we need some help out in the field, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, everyone was kind of just looking at each other, you know, like, "Are you going to do it? Or are you going to do it?" And I finally got up and got out there and went to help coach the team for the season. And then I was an assistant coach in the fall, and it brought me so much joy. Like it's beyond any words that I could come up with at the moment. But yeah, man, spending time with my kiddo, coaching him in T-ball, that was an absolute joy that I got to experience this year.
Good for you, man. I'm glad to hear that. I love the sport of baseball. Obviously, I played it, coach it. Everybody I know in my family plays it or has played it. So yeah, baseball's big in my life, and it's taught me so much stuff. And that's kind of where I'll leave this conversation right here. You know, there's 4 things I think you can control day in and day out: passion, enthusiasm, attitude, and effort. Passion, enthusiasm, attitude, and effort. 4 controllables. I like it. control them off the field, on the field, in the office, out of the office, with your family. Be passionate about what you do, or find something different to change. So, Luis, once again, thanks for your time. This won't be the last time we have you on. I can't wait to see what the future brings to you and Leal Insurance Services. So, thanks again, Luis. And if you got anything else for the fans out there of Luis Leal, it's all yours there. So,
oh no, man, I just thanks for having me on, dude. This was a lot of fun. I got to meet you at Brainshow, in September, and it was a pleasure to meet you. And I'm super excited to watch you grow and watch your agency, where you're going to take your agency, because no doubt it's going to be to high places, man. So I'm a fan of people who are enthusiastic about the business, the industry that we're in. Jason Cass says it all the time, right? This is the greatest industry that God ever created. But I'm excited for people like you who have enthusiasm about it, and that you're willing to share that enthusiasm with your folks, with your audience. So happy to be on, and thanks for the invite. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you again, hopefully.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate all the kind words, nice words, vice versa, obviously. I'm going to steal some ideas from you and go try to kill some more business this month.
If you see anything on my social media, man, take it. It's yours. You can have it.
I will. I like a free invitation to take people's content. I'm just waiting to steal all of Ryan Hanley's video content one day off of his website.
Oh, man.
He loves those little bops too. He's a big small business guy, which I love. Some people hate it. Crothers is after them 250 boys, and we're after them 2,500.
I'm okay with those 2,500, baby. Bring those on.
They come in handy, and they also grow.
Absolutely.
So, Luis, peace out, man. Appreciate your time and effort. Those listening, appreciate your time listening to the Most Valuable Producer podcast. And we'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions, concerns, reach out to Luis, myself. Find me on MitchGibson.com. Or you can find us at the Agency Intelligence Podcast, and find many more episodes of many more great hosts. So for me, Luis, everybody have a great day, and remember that you can make a difference. Take care, everybody.